All right, what do we got here? A little
crazy.
fight action here. This is a pretty good card. We were talking last week about, UFC's cards since Paramount's taken over.
Yep.
They haven't exactly been celebrated.
Yep.
And I know when you were talking about the White House ticket, a couple of names on here. I know you mentioned Nate Diaz, kind of bummed he wasn't on there.
Yeah.
This is one, Francis Ngannou. I mean, when I'm a casual, so when I know some of the names, I'm like, oh, that's some star power. This is pretty good star power for this Netflix card.
Very good star power. And the last thing you said is probably the most important thing because, look, you'll watch that for free. You pay for Netflix already, right?
Yeah.
So I'll sit down and I'll watch that. Like, is Nate Diaz and Mike Perry past their prime? Yeah, they're probably not going to fight. They'll never be in the top 5 in the MMA rankings
Don't let Nate hear
again.
you say that.
Oh, but I love him. But I think Nate has kind of been like a win 2, lose 1 guy for like the last 15 years. He's just so celebrated because of his fighting style and kind of the way he carries himself. But yeah, I mean, look, it's and this is where I think people where the UFC got a lot more flack than they probably should have, is that the UFC card at the White House is not a bad card. It's a bad card for the White House. Right. And the problem with that is that they juiced it up like it's going to be 6 title fights and Connor's going to be the 3rd fight. And everyone was like, oh, Connor's going to be the 3rd fight? That means Jones got to be fighting. That means this guy's got to come out of retirement. And we're like, oh, this is going to be crazy. And they set the bar too high for themselves. And that's why the White House card, which is going to end up being a fine card, came off as such a disappointment. But the problem is, too, that you can pay $89.99 for, or whatever. I don't know, whatever you pay for Paramount.
Right.
You have to pay for that on top of.
Hey, watch out, Paramount. Oh, it's an addition? I thought it was $6, but it's only Paramount.
Is that how it is? Oh,
so
you
like,
just.
yeah, you don't have to.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to pay per view.
Oh, that's good to hear.
That was the big thing where the big winner with the Paramount deal was
Gotcha.
the UFC fans because it's only $6 or $7 a month for Paramount Plus.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. I feel like these fights probably 10 years ago would have got me super jacked up. But like right now, it comes off. Look, it's great. It's good enough where I'll probably tune in and see how it goes. But I mean, look, I don't think from a championship standpoint or a competitive standpoint, it really. But yeah, it's going to be a great one. I mean, if you ask me if they got these names on here, would I be surprised? I would have been very surprised because now look, like from what I've heard, now Nate Diaz has closed the door on UFC. Like I think UFC, they're sort of like, they are over there. They're a little like egotistical and hard-headed. Yeah. Like they're not going to welcome him back for that Conor fight now. Right. So I heard I guess he must have gotten paid pretty well. And Ngannou has sort of like a storied, beef with the UFC. What I think a lot of people were thinking was, did you hear what Dana White came out and said about John Jones when they were asking him about the White House card?
When he said he was what did he say?
Well, he said like first of all, he said we weren't negotiating with him, which came out obviously not true. Like they were negotiating with him, but then he sort of trashed him and was like, listen, this guy's got arthritic hips. He's never going to fight again. We saw him playing in a flag football game where he looked like he was an old man running around. So in theory, his time in the UFC is over.
Right.
So John Jones was like, 2 days ago, you tried to lowball me, and if I would have accepted, then my hips would have been fine. But he goes, that I want my release. So I think immediately people thought, oh, damn, he wants his release, and Francis is a free agent. Ooh. Like maybe we can make that one happen. And that one would have moved needles. Epic. But this should be cool, man. I'm excited. I'll watch it. I love Gina. I think she's got a cool story.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be competitive? Rousey.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I don't think Ronda Rousey's very good. I think she was ahead of her time. I think she did one thing incredibly well. She wasn't very well-rounded. Like someone told her along the way that she was a boxer. Then she tried to stand in front of Amanda Nunes and she got erased in like 30 seconds. So yeah, but Gina was always really good. That should be a fun one. The thing about Ronda Rousey is if you watch like WWE, she's made herself like the heel, and they call like over the last decade, she's come off so hateable. And Ronda and Gina's kind of the opposite. She's like sympathetic now because of how her story went. She's super sweet when you talk to her. So I now I'm invested in that because I kind of want to see Gina just wipe the floor with her.
There we go.
That's cool.
I want to see how that goes down.